Welcome to another episode of Straight Like That, the podcast hosted by me, Camille. Today we've got Claudia Cagnina joining us for an episode. What's going on, Claudia?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for
I'm
having
good.
me.
Of course, thanks for hopping on. But first, let's shout out the sponsors. Tasty Mates, a gourmet gummy suite based in London, England. Organically made gummies that come in a few different flavors. They just recently put out a new passion fruit flavor. So be sure to check them out, link in bio for that. And Club DS. Club DS is a streetwear brand based out of Los Angeles. The word diez means the number 10 in Spanish. And the number 10 in soccer is always the player that brings the most joy, creativity, and takes risks. Inspired by their Mexican roots and the number 10 in the beautiful game, Club DS created the mantra of Siempre con alegría, which translates to always with joy. The message of the brand stems deep in the Los Angeles community, and the aim is to spread this message to other communities around the world. The mission is to remind people that no matter what you're going through, do it with joy. Life is full of ups and downs, but you will always be able to overcome any obstacle. A little bit of positivity, faith, and joy will go a long way. Siempre con alegría. So let's just get straight to it. Why soccer? How'd you get into it?
So I started playing soccer when I was around 5 years old, and I got into it actually because of my grandparents. Because my mom and my dad, they didn't play soccer. So my grandparents loved soccer growing up, watched it all the time. So they were like, you got to put Claudia in soccer. So then I ended up playing soccer and I've been sticking with it ever since.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and this is back in New York?
Yeah. So I was born in New Jersey, but I grew up like my whole life in New York.
Okay, okay. So you started at five
Yeah.
years old. Were you playing other sports, or did you just kind of played soccer and that was it?
So growing up, I did do gymnastics and for a couple years, and then I tried volleyball and lacrosse, but they were fun and I liked to do it, but soccer was what I was really good at.
And were you good right away?
Uh, I remember my parents when I was like little, I was just like hungry to always score goals. So like when
Okay.
I was young, I remember my mom would say you would score goals on like both like nets because I obviously didn't really know the concept yet when I was like 5 years old.
Yeah, yeah,
So she was
yeah.
like, you always had an eye for goals. So
Yeah, yeah. Whichever net it was you were trying to score on.
yeah, so it's
That's
kind of funny.
that's funny. Yeah. Did you have any siblings or anything growing up?
Yes, so I have two older half sisters, and then I have my younger little sister, Grace.
Okay. And did you
She
play with them
is,
at all?
yeah, so me and my sister Grace, we're 4 years apart. She's born
Mhm.
2001. I'm 1997, by the way. Um, yeah, so we'd grow up together and play soccer all the time. And she's still playing professional. Well, she just started her career now. She's
Oh
headed to
wow.
Australia to play. So I'm really excited for her. But we always, competed with each other and always helped each other get better.
Yeah, yeah. So how was, I guess, those early days when you were in youth, whatever, was it club or anything like that? Or was it just kind of like YMCA, rec league kind of thing?
Yeah, so when it was always club, but I guess it didn't really start to get so serious until you're maybe 13,
Hmm.
and it's like, okay, are you really doing this because you want to play in college? Or you're like kind of doing it just for fun. And then I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this. I think this is what I want to do.
Hmm.
And so like ever since that, like around 13, I've been trying to like get better and better and like play at a higher level and continue to play in college after high school and stuff.
Yeah. So were you playing club and high school, or were you allowed to do that?
Yeah, so it was always weird. Like sometimes our club coaches were like, you can't play high school soccer, you
Hmm.
might get hurt or injured and stuff. So I didn't do it like my first 2 years of high school. But then I was like, my high school was like pretty decent and like we had some other pretty good girls on the team. So I was like, and it was fun. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I was
Hmm.
able to do both. Yeah.
Both club and high school.
Yeah.
And was it the same time? Like how were like your days, were you going from high school practice straight to club practice?
Yeah, some days were like that. So it was kind of like tough, especially with like getting your schoolwork done and stuff. And
Right.
I mean, at least when I was younger, my body was a little bit better physically. You
Mhm.
recover faster, I guess.
Right, as a kid.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
miss those
yeah,
days.
yeah. Yeah, so how was
But
it? I guess, you said 13 is when things got a little more serious and you knew you were good. Um, was that also the age where you like, I want to go play in college as well?
yeah, so no, definitely not. I don't even think I was thinking about college when I was 13,
Yeah, of
but it was
course.
like I want to do this at like a high level kind of thing.
Hmm.
But then I guess I started thinking about college my sophomore year, because then that's where it was like, oh, you want to get recruited and stuff. Yeah, and
Hmm.
then like those days it's starting to like get so early, especially now. Some girls are committing in like their freshman year,
Yeah,
and like
really
I
quick.
committed yeah so fast. And even
Hmm.
back then, I committed my junior year or like middle of junior year of high school, and even back then, that was like kind of late.
Yeah.
But yes, but it was like kind of more talked about sophomore year of trying to like go to showcases and tournaments to get recruited.
Okay. Did you have anyone that like helped guide you around like through that process?
Yeah, so it was like, well, not yet, like, but my club coach, I guess our club was kind of new with these kind of things, wasn't so
Hmm.
experienced, so it was like a little bit hard to like, I guess, get started. You have to go to the showcases, like coaches in the team have to make pamphlets like to give out to the college coaches at the
Oh,
showcases of
damn.
like you have like who you are, like everyone on the team, like jersey number and stuff. And
Hmm.
then kind of just said if you want to try and go to college, email college coaches and tell them to come to your showcase. So it was a little bit like hard, but we did it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So talk to us about
Yeah.
your recruiting process. How'd that go?
It was kind of good. I mean, I ended up at the school I definitely wanted to go to, so that
Okay.
was exciting. But it was hard. I guess I'm a really like family oriented person, so I wanted to play at a high level university close to home also. So I
Hmm.
ended up going to school at St. John's University in Queens. I was 40 minutes from home, but I committed my middle end of junior year, and it was a kind of a long process because you email coaches, they like, show interest, and then it's kind of like, oh, either like we'll come watch another couple games and decide. So it was like always a little bit back and forth, and then I came down to like two schools, and it was kind of funny. It was another school in the Big East, Seton Hall or St. John's, and then I ended up wanting to go to St. John's.
Okay. All right. And so that was a,
Yeah.
a big factor for you staying kind of close to home?
Yeah, especially because it was just easier for my parents to come and watch too.
Hmm.
And yeah, they were just a big support system to like help me get where I am. So
Yeah, of course. So you
yeah.
committed junior year towards the end. What
Mhm.
was, I guess, like senior year? Because did you feel a little like sense of like, oh, like, weight off your shoulders. You got the college commitment done. You know where you're going. So are you just ready to just ball right away?
Yeah, it really does. Being able to play a sport in college, it does help a lot with trying to get into university and everything.
Hmm.
So it definitely was a weight lifted off my shoulders. I had to keep my grades up and everything, of course,
Yeah, yeah.
but it is easier than going through the process of having to, apply to a bunch of different schools and whatnot. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you went through your senior year and you went to St. John's. What was that transition like from high school to college?
Yeah, so this is like I coach sometimes, and
Hmm.
when I like, tell to the group of boys or girls, like younger boys or girls, I'm always like, the transition was for me at least like pretty big. I was like make sure to get in the weight room. Like
Hmm.
I was tall, but I was a pretty like small, didn't have so much muscle girl. And then you're going to college when you're like 17, and
Hmm.
some players are like already 23, 24. They've been through the whole college process, like lifting weights and like
Right.
being mentally tough and stuff. So my freshman year was a little bit of a transition to like becoming even more pro, like I guess in the sense of like college athlete.
Yeah.
Sorry, athlete.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it was a little bit of a tough transition, but I was able to keep working hard, pushing myself, making sure that I'm also in the gym too, and yeah, stuff like
Were you
that.
playing right away once you got there?
So I played at least, I didn't play every game my freshman year. I played at least more than half. But so I was happy because I came into like a pretty tough, I guess, year. Like we had
Hmm.
a lot of good older players. I actually played with Rachel Daly. She was a senior on my
Okay.
team, and she's a part of like the former England national team player
Yeah.
and still playing in England for I think Aston Villa. So like we had a lot of good girls coming in, so
Yeah.
I was really happy with the playing time I got, and of course it only wanted me to work harder to like, get more minutes and get more time on the field.
Yeah, yeah. So how was, I guess, or what was really like your goal after your freshman year? You know, you played a bit, but you want more. So like kind of what did you do to like better yourself overall?
Yeah, just putting in the work mentally and physically and like having that balance because you don't want to like work too well, you always want to work hard, but you don't want to overwork yourself and then
Hmm.
kind of fall out of love with the game. And I think that's what's so important is like staying in love with it because it makes you rise up, to your potential. So
Hmm.
I was just making sure I was putting in the extra work, with technical stuff and just making sure I'm always fit and everything and
Yeah.
getting stronger and like getting stronger mentally too
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
overcome certain obstacles and stuff.
Hmm.
So,
So
yeah.
how was the next, couple years after that, sophomore, junior year?
Yeah, sophomore year is when I started to like start more
Hmm.
games and everything. So that was great. And I was like, okay, I'm getting there. And then so I'm really satisfied with my sophomore year. I started a lot more games. And then my junior year, I started almost every game. And then senior year, I started every game.
Oh wow.
So
So
it
you were
was,
playing a lot.
yeah, my senior year definitely was.
And how
It
are you
was,
able to balance everything really with like school too?
yeah, so our school was really good in that sense because we'd have study hall hours and um, I forgot what they're called, uh, athletic like tutors, I guess
Hmm.
you would say, that
Yeah.
like cater to the student athletes more so. So they helped us out a lot when we needed help with the schoolwork that we'd miss when we'd be at away games and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So that really helped. And for like my school too, we were able to pick classes before regular students to so we can like cater to our practice schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was also really helpful to be able to like make sure we get the classes that we need to graduate and also be able to be at practice and games and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're playing almost all of sophomore year, all of junior year, all of senior year. So at what point was it where you were like, I want to keep playing even after, my 4 years of college are done?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was so possible, to be
Hmm.
honest. But my senior year, like there was a couple other girls on my team that were also thinking about it. And then we were able to like get more information on how to be able to play professional after college.
Hmm.
And we were able to find an agent and we were able to play pro after. But after my last game, I remember I was like so sad, but I was like, I can't be done with this yet, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So how did you go about finding an agent? Kind of like what was that process like, once your time at St. John's was done and you were trying to look for like a pro club?
Yeah, so it was a little bit hard also to find an agent, I guess, kind of back in the day.
Hmm.
It's not like I'm so old, but now it's just there's so many agencies you can choose from. And back
Yeah.
then, like when I just graduated, there wasn't a lot to choose from, and
Right.
it wasn't so known or so much information about it. So it was pretty hard, but we found an agent, and he brought me to my first club in Switzerland, where I
Hmm.
met Mariah, who you also interviewed. So it was
Yeah. Yeah.
a small world.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, it's amazing with how many agencies they have and how much more information there is about the women's sports after college, even if it's not in the States, even if it's in Europe.
Hmm.
So
So was that a goal to go to Europe or was it just literally anywhere?
I guess anywhere.
Hmm.
Uh, but Europe, was always a dream because you get to like explore apart from soccer while you're over
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah. So how
yeah.
was it going from New York to Switzerland? And like what was the time frame looking like?
Yes, so I finished I graduated in May 2019, and then I remember in July I went to Switzerland and I started my career. It was kind of a crazy experience, as
Hmm.
you probably heard in the last podcast with Mariah. But it was my first experience. You get a little bit of a taste of what you know you need to look for, what you need to ask before you go to a team,
Right.
and you get to see also the level and then you get to compare levels and everything. So it was a big step because I've never been so far away from home for so long,
Hmm.
like my first time, but I'm really grateful for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was that like? Like you said, this is the first time you've been away from your family for, that large distance and for a long time too. So what was that like playing, kind of being out in a new country, new environment by yourself?
Yeah, it was hard. I missed my family a lot. We
Hmm.
FaceTimed almost every day.
Hmm.
But it was also made the transition a little bit easier because there was also a bunch of Americans going to the Switzerland team I was with.
Hmm.
So it was nice to be able to have that bond. And then there was also two of my best friends from college. We were all able to go play in Switzerland on the same team. So
Oh wow, okay.
I was roommates with one of my best friends from college, so that helped so much being away from home. And since we've played together, we obviously know how we play with each other on the field. So it obviously helped being more comfortable on the field
Hmm.
too, especially in your first experience when you go to a brand new team
Yeah.
and like you don't know anyone, then you obviously are always a little bit uncomfortable and have to step out of your comfort zone and everything.
Hmm.
So I think even though the Switzerland was a little bit of a crazy, you know, uh, first place to go, I'm really grateful and I learned so much from it.
Hmm. Yeah, so I guess how long was that season? You got there July 2019 and then when did it end?
So we were only there for about 4 months because something
Oh,
happened. We weren't able to get visas and everything,
oh
and then we
wow.
had to go. Yeah, we were supposed to like get a visa through doing school there, but it didn't happen. And then all like me and all the other Americans had to go back home.
Oh, so it was a quick little 4 months and you went back to the US.
Yeah, so then I went
Okay.
back to the US and then was waiting for a new contract to play somewhere else.
Okay, okay. So where'd you go after that?
So I was actually really lucky. I was able to get my Italian citizenship in January of 2020.
Hmm.
And then with having the Italian citizenship, I don't need a visa to play
Yeah.
in Europe. So it made it so much easier to find teams. And then after, like in January 2020, I went to go play in Italy, but then COVID happened.
Oh, wow. So how long were you out in Italy before COVID? And were you stuck in Italy during COVID?
So I went to Italy like middle of January, no, sorry, end of January 2020, and then I was able to get out like March 15th, like right before
Yeah,
the
right before.
airports closed. I was like, it was so scary because I was playing at Tavagnaco, which
Hmm.
is close to Udinese and it's like more up north in Italy. And that's kind of where like it was mostly COVID happening.
Yeah.
So I was so nervous I wasn't going to be able to get out. But thank gosh I was able to get on a flight like ugh, it was the most stressful moments because they were like, "Oh, it's just gonna pass. Like, it's not a big thing." And I was
Right.
like, "No, it seems like it's getting pretty serious." Like, my club almost wasn't gonna let me go home, but
Oh,
thankfully, I was
wow.
able to get back home. Yeah,
So you went back to New York to your parents?
yeah,
Okay, so
thank God.
then boom,
Yeah,
lockdown happens, and then what happens?
yeah. So I was just training every day during lockdown,
Hmm.
and then finally. Fast forward to summer of 2020 in August, I went to go play for Keflavik in Iceland.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what was that like?
It was amazing. It was a dream because Iceland, apart from it's good football, and then apart from that, you get to travel and explore like all
Hmm.
the nature in Iceland. So for me, it was like a perfect place to be. And I
Hmm.
was really happy with my stay there. And there was also another American and Small World again. She played at Georgetown. So we played against each other for 2 years or so in the
Yeah,
Big East.
yeah.
So we kind of knew each other. So it was also nice to be able to go away again and have another American bond, you know.
Yeah. So far, your list of countries of where you played, I don't know if you could top that. How you go from Switzerland, Italy, and Iceland. So you're in
Yeah.
Iceland. Where's next after Iceland?
So after Iceland, I come back home
Okay.
until the season ends there, end of September. So I was home like middle of October-ish. And then I'm home for a little bit, waiting for the next transfer window, which is the winter transfer window.
Hmm.
And then I go play in Spain.
Never mind, you
Just
topped it.
I've been to a lot of countries, so this podcast might be kind of long if we
No,
go
no,
through
that's
them.
fine. That's amazing. That's another country. And this is all through the same agent that kind of helped you get your first one?
Oh no, sorry. So I was only with my first agent for my first team in Switzerland, and then after that, I was kind of bouncing through
Okay.
agencies. Yeah. So
Okay.
this, so Italy was with a different agent, and then Spain was through another agent as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So where in Spain did you go?
I went to play for Zaragoza. They were playing in the second division in Spain.
Okay. And how was that? In comparison, I guess, to all the different leagues you played in and stuff.
Yeah, so it was definitely a different style of play and one that I kind of wasn't so used to
Hmm.
or like haven't played so much in a while. Uh, so it was also kind of getting used to the players and how they play differently than the US. I guess they're kind of more technical and the game is a little bit, you know, not as, I guess, fast, you would say.
Okay.
Just it's different than like US or Scandinavia
Yeah.
soccer. But it was also nice because there were Americans there when I went too.
Hmm.
So
Did you kind of
yeah.
like struggle because it was a difference, or did you kind of get, with it quick?
Yeah, so I guess like just playing with um yeah, it was a little bit of a struggle trying to get into it and like earn my place on the field there. But
Hmm.
I played like some like more than at least half the games there. Didn't start like all of them or anything, but that was one of my experience prob abroad where I probably didn't play the most, I would
Okay.
say.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
other spots that you were at, you were playing pretty consistently, huh?
Yeah. So this
Okay.
one, that one was kind of like, I guess, learning.
Hmm.
Sometimes God tests you and your patience and everything like that. So I feel like that was kind of just a learning time for me there.
Yeah. Did you want to stay after that first season, or were you kind of like, let's go try something else?
Yeah, so at that point too, it's like you kind of fall out of love with the game a little bit,
Hmm.
and that was not me. Like I love soccer, I love watching soccer, it's my life. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, do I quit here just because I had one bad experience? And I was like, no, like I'm gonna try and keep going. So then the season though, I went there in the winter transfer window in January of 2021, and then the season ended May 2021. So then I was
Wow.
home practicing and then again trying to find a new team.
Hmm.
But that season, like in Spain, did test me a little bit, but I was like, I'm gonna keep going. And
Hmm.
then I eventually found a team end of July 2021 in Finland.
Wow. Another country. You just hopping from country to country in Europe. That's crazy. So back
Yeah,
with the Spain team, you that season really did kind of test you in a way of like, do I want to keep playing?
yeah.
Wow.
And sometimes it's hard because, sometimes you just don't get along with coaches and like their style of plays are just different. And even though you feel like you're doing so well and you're working so hard, sometimes they just don't see it.
Hmm.
And it is really hard mentally because you're like, okay, what more else can I do to show them that I want to be on the field, that I care, that I'm good enough? And sometimes things just like don't work out, but it's
Hmm.
just like the pressure, how do I say it? Perseverance, yeah. The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
perseverance to like just keep going and like know
Yeah.
that you are good enough and maybe you're just not in the right place?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you go to Finland, and how was that season in Finland? Was that better than Spain?
Yeah, it was better than Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was good. But I also just came there in the summer, and their season is like flipped from like mainland Europe. Scandinavia plays March to November in
Is
like
that because of the
mainland
weather?
Europe. Yeah, it's because of the
Okay.
weather.
Okay.
So then I was there for the second half of the season. It was a good season. I played consistently there and I was happy there too. But then I go back home at the end of November again, and then I'm waiting for the winter transfer window. And then I go to Sweden.
Damn, you
Yeah.
really are going from country to country. That's amazing. Okay, so Sweden, you go to
Thanks.
Sweden what to in January or
March. So
March?
I was
Okay.
home for a little bit more this time because I didn't like since their season doesn't start until end of March, they were like
Yeah, yeah.
allowing me to like stay home a little bit longer. So
Mhm.
then I was just coaching while I was at home training until I went to Sweden. And then I
Okay.
was there for the full season there. So I was there until September 20, no, sorry, November 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how was
Yep.
that season?
That was great. Again, I was able to play consistently there.
Hmm.
And I think I really loved Scandinavian countries the most. And maybe that's where my style of play, I guess, suits best,
Yeah.
maybe. Um, I also made really nice friends there. And I just, I learned a lot still about myself and about the game. And then, but I was like, maybe I want to go somewhere else. And then,
Okay. So another country.
so then I went back home.
Hmm.
And then the winter transfer window again, and then I go to play in Italy for a Serie
Okay.
B team. Though this time, I played for Arezzo for their second half of the season. They were fighting relegation, and I went there to like help them stay in Serie B,
Hmm.
and we did it, which was awesome. And
Wow.
yeah, so it was good. That was good. I mean, I loved Italy. Italy is also really nice with the food
Yeah, of
and the
course.
soccer. The
Of
soccer
course.
is really good too, but sometimes the facilities and everything aren't quite the best if you're not at like a club that's tied to the men's side.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. So the facilities from like the Swedish club, the club in Finland and everything, do you think those are better than the one in Italy?
Yeah, because like even my first contract back in Italy, like when we talked about before,
Hmm.
like the facilities there too, and even in Spain as well, like they just don't compare to the facilities they have in Scandinavia
Hmm.
so much. And again, like you probably get really good or pretty good facilities in Italy if you're tied to a men's club, but it's still growing on the part where you're, not connected to the men's club.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah. Well, let's go back a bit. How did you get your Italian citizenship?
Yeah, so my dad's Italian, and I was able to get it through him.
Okay.
And I didn't like growing up, we didn't really like think about getting another citizenship or anything. Like
Hmm.
even because my mom's also my mom's Peruvian, and the
Hmm.
same thing with like my mom. We didn't think about getting another citizenship,
Yeah.
until we were like, okay, maybe soccer, like this could be the key to like your future
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
soccer.
Yeah.
So with like the Peruvian national team now, I'm able to play through my mother, and then I'm able to play in Europe at least easily through my Italian citizenship from my
Wow. So
father.
you getting help from both sides just like that.
Yeah, they helped me get to where I am today, that's for sure.
Nah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So how was, oh, let me see that thing popped up just now. How was you said that season in Italy you helped them, not get relegated. Did they want you back after that? Or did you want to stay after that?
Yeah, so they did want me back after that, but it's a little bit hard because the facilities and then
Hmm.
like accessibility to treatment and stuff like that wasn't, the best. And also I was getting a little bit older and I was like, I need to be in a better, environment, better, yeah. So that was
Yeah.
kind of like I think I want to move on to the next
Okay.
club.
All right. So what was the next destination?
So I went to Norway.
Okay. Okay. So you really like the whole Scandinavian area because it seems like you're going from every country up there.
Yeah. And so I went to Norway the second half of the season for them in Buda, which is like where I'm playing now.
Hmm.
It was called Grand Buda in the like when I first came. But then in the next year, like in 2024, the men's team, Buddha Glimt, bought out Grand Buddha like for its rights.
Hmm.
So we were able, like, so Grand Buddha went, progressed into Buddha Glimt kind of thing.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, so the team was the same, but just transferred like the rights of the name to like
okay.
stay in like the league.
And this is when while you were over there.
No, so the first season I was there, it was still Grand Buddha, but then the
Okay,
second season when I came back, it was Buddha Glimt.
okay, okay. So this is this the
Yeah,
first time you've been at a place for more than a season?
yeah,
Okay, so you must have really enjoyed your first season then.
yeah. It's great, like from the staff to the team and like the environment that the club like supports you. I think this has been my best fit in
And
my whole
that's
career, to be honest.
and that's where you're at currently right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so how has your time been since you got there? Obviously you enjoy it. You've been there for more than a season and you're saying good things about it. So how are how was the play? How was, living in that country like?
Yeah, so when I first came, we were in the second division and we were mid-table team and stuff. We did well when we ended. We ended, I think, sixth place when we were in the second division. And this past year, we were still in the second division and we did really well and we were able to promote. So now we
Oh
are in the
wow.
top Syrian. Yeah, so that was
Okay.
super exciting. And yeah, so now this coming season we're playing the top Syrian. It's going to be super exciting. And I mean, I really love this play so far because I think it just suits my, like, the way the team wants to play suits how
Mm.
I play really well. And I'm allowed to, I'm more of a free kind of role on my team. And I don't know, just, I just play really well when I'm here, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So how was last year?
Yeah.
You're talking about how, you got the team promoted. What was that journey like? And how were those matches like?
Yeah. So the start of the season was really good. We won like 8 or 9 games in a row, like
Dang.
in the beginning of the season. So we had
Mm.
a really hot start, and then we lost our first game like right before the summer like break. So that was kind of hard, but we also it was a time where we had a lot of games in a span of a couple weeks that we weren't
That,
used to because of
yeah.
like there was a game cancellation and then cup games. So then it was a little bit like hard to like get over that hump,
Mm.
when your bodies are kind of down and just a lot going on, and then the law, like your first loss, and you're kind of like freaking out.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I thought once we got back home from summer break and starting the second half of the season, we came back pretty strong and like came back together and we kept winning games again. So we finished second though. So like
Okay.
second, but there's like the promotion relegation playoffs. So we
Yeah.
finished second and then we played promotion games against the second to last place team in the top Syrian. So then at the end of the season we played home and away against the second to last place team in top Syrian and we tied the first game and then we tied like the second game, so then we went to extra time and penalties,
Oh
and we
wow.
won on penalties. Yeah,
Wow, wow, wow. So you won in penalties to get promoted to the top league.
yeah,
But also,
yeah,
if y'all finished second and you're saying y'all basically won majority of the games you played, who
yeah,
was in first place? Did they just not lose?
yeah. They. I think they only lost one game, and it was to us.
That's insane. So they lost one
Yeah,
game
they
and
lost
they were in
one
first.
game.
Wow.
We lost, I think, two, three, maybe. But then
Wow.
we lost the game, or we lost the two all those 3 games or 2 games we really shouldn't have lost. But
Yeah.
stuff happens. But it was crazy. Yeah, the other team above us, the first place team, only had one loss against us, and that was
Wow.
like when we were in like our hot streak in the beginning.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. So we know that, you play professionally in club, you bounce around a lot in different countries in Europe. But let's talk about you as an international player. You play for Peru's women's international team. How did that come about? Tell us the whole story about that.
Yeah, so I'm able to play for Peru through my mom, and I was able to get my citizenship back in 2016. And then my mom has a friend that was actually her coach in basketball growing up in Peru. And then he knew the Peruvian women's national team coach at that time. And he was able to get me kind of like a tryout when we were there during the summer for vacation one time. So I was able to train with the team and everything. And the coach ended up liking me as a player and invited me to like keep coming back to camp and stuff. And then I was able to play Copa America in 2018. That was
Oh,
my
wow.
first international official match.
So
Yeah.
in 2016, you're there on vacation
Yeah.
and you go basically kind of have like a tryout, if you will, with the team. Coach
Yeah.
likes you. So in 2016, you're what? You're 19, 20?
Yeah, 18 maybe.
18.
Yeah, 18 I think
Okay,
actually. Yeah, because
wow.
I have yeah.
Wow. So then in 2018, you're playing with them with the senior team.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So talk to us about that. How was that experience like?
So in 2016 when I went, it was my going into like my sophomore year that summer. I went to Peru and then I was able to try out and that's when the coach liked me and then there wasn't so much camps and stuff throughout the years coming up to the Copa America just
Mhm.
because Peru wasn't funding so much yet on the women's side. But it has grown so much and they've been funding a lot throughout the years now. But back then it was still not so common and popular. Um, so I maybe went to like one other camp before we went to Copa America in
Mhm.
2018. So it was an unreal experience though, my first time playing an official game with the Peruvian senior team and everything, and
Mhm.
playing against some of like the best players in South America. I remember we were in the group with Uruguay, Colombia, Chile, and Paraguay.
Oh, wow.
Um, we lost like against Paraguay, Chile, and Colombia, but we tied against Uruguay. So like it wasn't terrible for not being as prepared as
Right.
the other nations, I would assume. So it was also in 2018, I think I was 20. Yeah, so I was still pretty young,
Right. Yeah.
but it
Really young.
was an amazing experience, and I'm forever grateful that I was able to start my career with Peru. And yeah, I really value that I'm able to play there
Yeah.
and for
Were
the
you, did
national
you play
team.
in some of those games?
Yeah, so I started and played 90 minutes in almost all those matches.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
And then since
yeah.
then, you've been kind of getting called up consistently?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And how, I guess, are they having more camps, I guess each year, like, better than they had previously?
Yeah,
Okay.
especially like now it's getting more funded and there's like FIFA dates they call it and
Hmm.
like now I'm on my way to go to Peru to play some friendly matches in preparation for the Copa America. That's this summer. So yeah, we're gonna go train and have I think friendly matches and now every FIFA date that there is, like Peru is going to have a camp. Unlike before when there would be like FIFA dates and Peru wouldn't. Like it's grown so much over the last 2 years, I would say.
Wow, that is great. So now y'all actually will
Yeah.
have more time together, preparing, training, getting to know each other and everything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because the first Copa America I was part of in 2018, it was like a team that hasn't played together.
Hmm.
So it was obviously really hard to
Hmm.
compete, but we tried our best and it was an amazing experience. We learned. And then the next Copa America was in 2022.
Hmm.
And I was able to play with my sister in that tournament. So that was also amazing for like me, my sister, and like our family.
Oh, so she represents Peru as well.
Yeah.
Wow, so you guys are both on the same team, same national
Yeah.
team together.
Hmm.
Wow, was that the first time you guys played together in like a professional setting?
Yeah, in a professional setting for sure. So it
And
was like amazing to share that moment, like those moments with her.
yeah, so how was that Copa America?
We lost, but like before that too, it still wasn't the best. I would say after Copa America 2022, ever since then, it's been trying to grow, and like now we've been having more FIFA dates. So I hope this coming Copa America, we will be able to at least like win a couple games
Hmm.
in the one coming up. But still, like for 2022, there wasn't enough preparation. Maybe there was two camps.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. Okay, so it's
before,
kind of the same
yeah.
as 18.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, and we were in a tougher group. We played against Brazil,
Oof.
Uruguay again, Argentina, and Venezuela. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. So between 18 to 22, there wasn't really any kind of progression, with funding and time together and everything like that.
Yeah, not so
Okay.
much, but yeah, I think ever since then, me and like a lot of the other girls that have been on the national team for a couple years now have been using our voices a lot to, have the federation fund us and support us more, which they have done, which we
Hmm.
are grateful for that the like this past year and like last year too, like they were able to have FIFA dates for us and we were able to train together and compete together. And it's just, still growing and we're getting that kind of treatment now, and it's hopefully will benefit us for the future.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So at least it's an
Yeah,
upwards trend now since 22. So you get more days, more
yeah.
funding, more everything. So hopefully, the next tournament you guys will win a couple of games. So
Yeah,
better than
thank you.
before.
I hope so. Yeah,
Yeah, so what
thanks.
are, what are some of your goals with the next few years as a professional player, both club and international?
Yeah, I mean, I hope I'll be able to get called into the Copa America this summer. That's my goal.
Hmm.
And right now for the season, club-wise, I hope that we can start off on a good note and be strong together, especially because this is our first time together in the top Syrian. So I hope we're able to, play well against the top teams there.
Hmm.
We had like a cup match last year against one of the top Syrian teams there, and we definitely should have won. We lost 2-1, but I should have scored that game. I still get so mad, but it's in the past. Now
Right,
I'm gonna
right,
score
right.
this year.
Exactly.
But
Next time you see him, you're actually gonna score this time.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think we competed well against them, so I do think our team will do well this year, and I hope we do. So right now, that's kind of my focus, and for next year, I'm not sure yet,
Okay.
but I know there's a starting in October 20, yeah, this coming October, it will be World Cup qualifiers.
Okay.
So every FIFA day, it's going to be so much more important now for whenever we get called in, because then it's like kind of like the men's now. If you win those games, you get the
Hmm.
points and like you stay up, high in the table. And
Right.
hopefully, this will be a better chance for us too to maybe make a World Cup or fight for a playoff spot in the World Cup. So
Okay.
I have like a lot of big dreams and hopes for this coming year and just
No,
trying
that's
to work hard.
amazing. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta dream big. I mean, what else you gonna do?
Yeah.
No, that's great. So let's get to some of the questions of, getting to know Claudia in general, right? So first question, who are some artists that you listen to kind of get you motivated when you're, going into a match day?
Yeah. So kind of listen to a lot of hip hop and rap.
Okay.
I don't have like a favorite rapper hip hop artist, but I listen to like Gunna or Drake and like a lot of those top artists like Pop
Yeah.
Smoke and those
Yeah, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
songs get me hyped up for game day, to be honest.
Okay. Hey, listen, I listen to them too, so I'm a fan of all of that.
Yeah.
So out of all the places that you've played at, what's
Mhm.
been your favorite destination, city-wise?
That's kind of hard.
Just pick, I guess. How about this? Favorite place that's got the best food. How about that? That you've
Yeah,
been
okay.
at.
That's the big thing. Like, because
Okay.
Italy has been my favorite because of like the food and lifestyle there. Everything in Italy is also kind of cheaper and it's really good quality. Like in Italy, I was able to go out to eat a lot because it wasn't that expensive there, and then the food is amazing. But nature wise. Iceland and Norway are like my top because yeah, apart from the soccer part and being able to explore just more of like the world and see how beautiful it is amazing because I don't see all the mountains and stuff in New York and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I
so
see. I see how it is. So, certain places with the nature, the mountains, all that beauty, and then
mhm.
everyone else got the food, the culture, lifestyle. Okay, all right. So, really, you a
Yeah.
fan of it all, huh?
Yeah, but those three places are definitely my top.
Okay, I got you. All
Yeah.
right. And what is your, I guess, biggest motivator? What keeps you going, to keep playing professional? I mean, you've been playing for a few years now.
Yeah, I guess just my love for the game. I love watching soccer and even when I'm say like, oh, I'm tired and like after season I remember like, oh, my body like needs a rest and then I'm maybe don't do anything for almost 5 days and I'm back out on the soccer field. It just I don't know, I just have so much love for the game and I'll play pickup anytime, any place with anybody, indoors, outdoors, no matter the weather, even if it's cold. So I guess that's my biggest motivator to keep going is just how much I still love it?
Yeah, no, that's amazing. You really love the game.
Yeah, like just the little girl inside of me is like, just keep doing it for as long as you can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and go to a couple of questions from the Instagram page.
Mhm.
Let's go with this one first. If you weren't a soccer player, what would you be doing?
So I actually got my degree in criminology. So
Okay.
going into college, yeah, it was like, oh, I want to be a detective and stuff like that. But
Okay.
yeah, that kind of I strayed away from that a little bit. But if like now going and playing professionally, I after I finish my career, I kind of want to try and get into assistant coaching at a university
Okay.
because really want to stay in the game. So I would, I want to do that. We'll see. But if it's not soccer, would like stay in the government and I want to, be part of social services and stuff and like help family and children that are in need. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I like that answer. What about this one? Favorite Peruvian food?
Oof, that one's also so hard because there's so much Peruvian food that is so good.
Gotta pick one. Go to.
Okay, ceviche is the best.
Yeah,
Like
top.
the best, top. If I want meat, then I would probably it's just something as simple though as pollo a la brasa, which is just roast chicken and like you get French fries inside, but it's like the best thing ever. It's like if I go to Peru, I'm like, can I please have a pollo a la brasa or ceviche? Those are my top two places where I love to eat.
Is there any good
Yeah.
Peruvian spot in New York, or is it only like when you go back to Peru?
Yeah, so I think I'm a little spoiled in that sense because whenever I've tried a Peruvian place back in the States, I haven't found anything that gets me just like the Peruvian food in Peru.
Yeah.
So I recommend if you ever get the chance to go, you should go.
To Peru.
The food is amazing. Yeah, to
Okay,
Peru.
okay, yeah. Hey, listen, that's a goal. I'm trying to go to Lima and see Machu Picchu one time, so gotta do
Yeah, I
that.
actually have to go to Machu Picchu too. I've never been there.
How many times have you been to Peru?
I've been I don't even know, so many times since I was little. My mom always brought me and my little sister with her to go
Okay.
visit on vacation, but I've only ever been in Lima, so I haven't been anywhere else. But so
Yeah, yeah,
Machu
yeah.
Picchu is on my bucket list still.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
what about this question? Would you prefer scoring the game-winning goal in a match or having the game-saving goal line clearance?
Oof. Probably game-winning goal.
Of course, I looked at that question. I'm like, I don't even know if it's close. I'm scoring that
Yeah.
goal 10 times out of 10. I don't give a damn about
I'm
saving the ball.
scoring, yeah. Any goal I can get.
Yeah, nah, I saw that question. I'm like, maybe, someone else got a different perspective on this.
Yeah, defenders. Sometimes they're
Maybe,
like, that's like that's their thing. They love it.
yeah,
They're like, that
maybe.
means more to me than scoring a goal.
Right. Shit,
So,
not us though. Not to.
no.
All All right, and last questions. Last question. How many languages do you speak?
So I would say I speak three.
Okay.
I English, but
Hmm.
I speak Spanish and Italian. I'm not like 100% fluent, but I can have a conversation in both and I can get around in both. So I would say like I know three of them.
Three in total, yeah. Parlo anche italiano.
Sì, io parlo italiano.
No, I'm playing. That's the only thing I know. One of my best friends, he's Italian, so like legit, that's the only thing I'll say. So
Mhm.
that's it. And then on Duolingo, I'm on that Spanish and Italian. So estoy
Yeah,
muy
and
feliz sometimes.
yeah, and they're both pretty similar, so that honestly
Yeah.
helps me a lot too. It's just
Hmm.
always like the grammar with like the past tense and the future that's what gets me, you know. But other than that, I know pretty well.
Yeah. Were they spoken back at home?
No, so that's the thing too. That would have
Oh
been
wow.
awesome. I actually learned in school,
Oh
like
wow. Okay.
Spanish and
Okay.
Italian. Yeah, and then only until like my mom never spoke to me in Spanish and my dad never spoke to me in Italian. So actually spoke more with like my grandma in Italian, and that's how I also learned more.
Hmm.
And then going to Peru as well, like ever since I was little and just like overhearing, you know, the same kind of things, and then you kind of pick up like, okay, this is this and that's that. And then
Hmm.
school helped me so much. And then now when I go like to Peru, everyone's only speaking Spanish. So
Okay.
I had to like learn that. And then in Italy, when I was there too, no one really speaks English there either. So it
Hmm.
really put me to the test on trying to hone down both those languages.
Okay. Okay.
So
So fluently three.
yeah, I would say fluent. Just, you know, my grammar isn't always the best in
Right.
Italian and Spanish.
But hey,
Yeah.
listen, thank you for joining. Thank you for recording the episode with us. We appreciate, your time and sharing all the stories, and it was great to hear it all.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. It was really fun, and I'm glad you invited me to do it.
Of course, of course.